With all of the options out there for a backpacking cook kit, it is a lot to process. Today I'm going to show you many of the cook systems I've used over the years and a few I haven't even tried yet. At the end of the video, I'll show you what I think is the best budget cook kit available and a favorite of all time.
Damn, what is all that noise, man? Are you good?
Oh, I can't find the cook kit we're supposed to talk about today.
Is it that one?
Yeah, I knew it was there.
So there's a bunch of different ways to cook out in the backcountry. A lot of different opinions, a lot of different styles of cooking. Some people love to sort of base camp and then, you know, plan a big epic meal for a lot of different people. Some people love to just cook water, boil water and put it into a freeze-dried meal. What I first started out with was this one here. This is just some cheap Chinese pot that I got off of Amazon. This might be the first pot I ever bought for backpacking, and I quickly graduated from this. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just aluminum, very inexpensive, and I call it a cheap Chinese pot because I don't even know the brand name of it. Then I tried to lighten up as much as I possibly could. I tried alcohol stoves. If you don't know what an alcohol stove is, I've just got two of them to show you here. Just really small tin cans, really, that you put denatured alcohol in. You can find this at gas stations. It's the yellow bottle of heat. You can find it pretty much anywhere. And that's really nice because if you are on a backpacking trip, you don't have to like hope that REI or something is open or some outdoor store is open to try to get fuel that you may have needed for another stove. You can, with an alcohol stove, you can find this literally anywhere. And these are nice for a couple reasons. One, they're extremely lightweight. Like this is probably the lightest weight you can go. And they come with a little stand here. You can put your pot on top of it like this. You light your stove, put the stand around the stove, and you're good to go. What I don't like about these is you can't control the flame. It's one flame, always the same temperature pretty much. And it takes quite a while to boil water. It takes like sometimes 8, 10, 12 minutes to boil a cup or two of water. The other cool thing about these is that they, in the wintertime, they work. So below freezing weather, these are great for that reason. So if you want the most ultralight option, look at alcohol stoves. These are probably the most ultralight options available. And then there's a difference between the different types of pots that you can get. You can get titanium, like this one here. This is a TOAKS 550 milliliter pot. These are nice. This will hold about 2 cups of water. Or you can get the aluminum pot as well. But titanium was what I graduated to. The problem with titanium, though, is that it almost transfers heat too well. So, like, this thing will get extremely hot very, very quickly, and it will cool down very, very quickly. And if you don't have water inside of it, it will kind of warp and melt and burn the bottom of the pot and kind of mess it up that way. And cooking on a titanium pot or titanium pan can kind of be a pain as well because things tend to burn to it. So these are really good in my opinion for just boiling water, not really cooking in it, because stuff is really going to stick inside of these. So if you want to cook like a meal or a food, or if you're like planning on like, you know, chopping up some onions and sausage and that kind of thing, you're cooking eggs, you're going to want to look at something like this. This is just an aluminum pan from MSR, and it has a non-stick coating on the inside, very similar to a pan that you'd probably have like at your house. And it's just great to be able to have something to cook with this type of a surface in it because you're not spending a ton of cleaning when you're done. This is the first stove I ever bought. This is a canister stove that I got on Amazon, just some cheap Chinese piece of garbage. And it had great reviews, and a lot of people had some really good experiences with this thing, but it crapped out. But then ended up picking up a SOTO WINDMASTER. That's this one here. These are great. These are just canister stoves as well, a little bit heavier. And then the thing about this one is it's got a detachable pot support to it, so you can take the pot support on and off. This is the lighter weight one. Or if you have like a skillet like this, you can get the larger pot support like this one, and this will somehow, there we go, connect down there as well, and that way you can put a larger pot on here, or a larger pan on here, and cook like that. So that's kind of nice too, and it does fold up. But the problem with this one is it's just a little bit more work to it. It sounds kind of lazy, but it's true. You got separate pieces. You have to connect them to cook. This thing can be finicky to remember how to put it on. I can do it right now because I just did it. But sometimes you're sitting on the backcountry like, man, how did I get that on there? It's kind of a pain. And it's just bulky. So when you try to pack this thing back up like in a pot, it takes up a lot of room. But, you know, you can take it apart, I guess, and fit it in that way. But so it's great. And this does really, really, really well in the wind. And it's actually very, very quiet. I think this is probably the quietest of the canister stoves that I own. Oh, and if you don't know what a canister stove is, let me back up. It just is a stove that attaches directly to your canister. That's what that is. The other stove that I really have been loving lately is this one. Very similar, actually, to the SOTO. It's the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe. Now, these are both around the same price. They both have self-igniters on them. So you just click the little button here. You don't need like a separate lighter to light these, or a separate spark to get the flame to come on. So that's really nice. And I like this one though, the MSR, because everything's just built in and it folds up a little bit easier, in my opinion. And just everything is just right there. And it also has a self-igniter on here, which is really, really nice. The difference though between these two stoves is that the SOTO, you can kind of see it right there, the pot stand, it's just, the pot's going to sit a little bit closer to the heat source. So I think probably a little bit more efficient. The MSR is nice because depending on the size cup, it's a little bit angled. So cups and pots might not slide around as easily on this one, but it's not going to be as efficient. But I mean, we're talking like seconds in boil time. Like within 5, 10, 15 seconds, one's going to be boiling faster than the other. So if fuel efficiency is of the utmost importance, and you're just like, man, I don't want to run out of fuel and I don't want to carry hardly any fuel, you might want to look at the SOTO WINDMASTER, but you're really nitpicking at that point. So this is a CALDERA cone, I think it's called. Really interesting cook system here. This just folds in on itself. Like, I've only used this maybe once or twice. I'm not a fan, to be honest with you. It's not my favorite. But it sits like this, and this one was built for this specific pot over here. But basically how this one works is you take your alcohol stove, right? Got your alcohol stove. Can you see that? Can you see that? Alcohol stove, you light it, you put this windscreen around it, and then this pot slides in there. And the goal is to like focus heat to make the alcohol stove more efficient. Now the problem with this is that this is so sharp. You can cut yourself really easy on here, because I've done it. And this is just so bulky. It's just a lot of stuff to bring around. So if you're like an alcohol stove person and, you know, you're really sold on your alcohol stove, and this is that's what this looks like. Windscreens. Do you need a windscreen? I never bring a windscreen ever, unless I'm using an alcohol stove, which is pretty rare. So I don't really bring windscreens. The windscreen just kind of goes around your stove, protects the flame from going out. Keeps it a little bit more efficient. If you really need a windscreen while you're out there, use something you already brought, like, you know, set your backpack up on the other side of it, or try to, you know, cook near a large boulder or a rock or a tree or something that's going to kind of block the wind. All right. Oh, and then let's talk about the JETBOIL here. We've talked about this quite a bit in other videos, but JETBOIL has been great just because it's so versatile for a lot of different cooking situations. Being able to cook bigger meals. It's got like a cup / measuring cup. It's got pot stand. It's so efficient, probably the most efficient of the stoves that I've got as far as fuel goes. And then I just like that it's got this like koozie, built-in koozie, a built-in koozie. Yeah, you like koozie on the outside, so everything just stays like nice and, you know, cooled down in your hand. So that's kind of nice. And, you know, everything nests really good in here, so I can fit one of the smaller fuel canisters in there when it's all put together properly. I can fit that in there, and everything's really nice and compact. A little bit heavier, but, you know, that's a weight penalty you're going to get for some of the features that it's got. But this is really, really great for a little bit more backcountry cooking with this one here. You can put this on a pot stand and cook. All right. Oh, we forgot to talk about this. This is actually a pretty interesting stove too, back to the super ultralight stuff. This is probably the most ultralight stove ever. This is a ESBIT cube stove. And an ESBIT cube, if you follow my channel at all, you know that I like ESBIT cubes because they're little fuel tablets. They're little fuel tablets that I use as fire starters. I don't really use them to cook, but I don't want to take it out of here because these things stink. They stink. Like, oh man, do you smell that? Can you smell that? Take a whiff.
That is pretty horrible.
That's pretty rancid. Oh my gosh. We're gonna be quick. That's bad. But the ESBIT cube, when you open it, you put it in here, you light it, burns for like 10 minutes, and then you can put your pot on there like that. You can put a windscreen around it. So this is probably the most ultralight you could get. Probably more ultralight than an alcohol stove, really. But finicky, kind of a pain in the butt, smells like, we're done. We're done.
Fish food?
Yeah, fish food. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to kill this whole video. I'm gonna have to stop everything that we're doing right now. That's how bad this is. All right. Should we talk about one of my favorite pots? This is one of my favorite pots. So if you follow my channel for any length of time, or if you're one of the early people to this channel, like people that have been around since the beginning, you'll remember this pot. This is my ultralight EVERNEW titanium pasta pot. This is so good, especially for like, it'll almost act like a JETBOIL in a couple ways because it's got the strainer here. So you can like cook noodles and stuff in here and you can tip it and strain it, which is really nice. Now the lid stays on pretty... Apparently it doesn't stay on. It does stay on. The lid stays on pretty good, snaps on. So when you're boiling water, you can tip it and the lid shouldn't fall off depending on how like heavy the food is in there. But I always get nervous, so I'll take like my spoon or something and do this to kind of strain it, just to make sure that as sort of a fail safe, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, good. But that's what, and it's a 1 liter pot, but this is super ultralight, like ridiculously ultralight, and it's like stupid expensive. It's like a $70 pot.
For that small?
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
a $70. Got a lot of stuff going for it though. It's got these silicone handles here, a little plastic lid that you can grab like this, and the base on it's really wide. I love that because it's more efficient. So, it's more surface area to be able to heat up to cook. Oh, the other thing I like about this too is that you can put the bigger canisters in this one. So like if you're worried about like fuel efficiency, or if you're cooking for more than just you and you're using a lot of fuel, this big, this is the 230 gram fuel can. See that down there? 230. That'll fit right in there. So that's kind of nice. And then you could hopefully fit your, depending on what stove you brought, sometimes you can fit them in there, sometimes you can't. But okay, like that's not going to fit in there. But this little baby, that might fit in there. There we go. So you just got to kind of mess around and try to figure out what's going to fit in there. But if I was bringing this pot, normally I'm bringing the smaller one, and then I could fit a larger stove in there, that kind of thing. And then just as a fail-safe, one of my subscribers a long time ago gave me this rubber band that I can wrap everything up in. That's kind of nice. So this is such a good pot, dude. This thing is so good. It's definitely been through the ringer. All right, so we got there. Now let's talk about stuff that I have never even used yet. This is on the list to test. All right, so tell me if you guys are excited. Are you?
I'm stoked.
You're He's such a liar. Nobody is stoked about a cook pot that I'm about to test. Oh, dude. You're probably sitting at home being like, I can't believe I'm watching this. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Okay, that's how I feel. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So we got the SOTO. This is a SOTO pot. I don't remember the name of it. I don't even know. I bought it like a month and a half ago. Just haven't used it yet. But I'm really excited to try it out. I was just looking for some stuff to test out. So it comes in this nice koozie case. Got a little lid on here. It's kind of nice. Okay. And then this is a 1 liter? No, 750 milliliters. Oh. That's because it's the stove that I bought with. I forgot about this. I'm going to be trying this stove out. This is the SOTO AMICUS, I think, stove. It's just like, it's made by SOTO, like the WINDMASTER. Is this the WINDMASTER? Yeah, it's the WINDMASTER. So just a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more like the Pocket Rocket. It's just smaller. So it folds out. okay, like the Pocket Rocket. Okay, everything's built in. That's why I was excited about this one, because I wanted to see would this one be the best of both worlds, because it's also got a self-igniter and it's a little bit cheaper. So I'll let you know. Haven't tried it yet. I've heard great things about it. A lot of people talk about this stove as it's a great stove. So AMICUS, I'm looking forward to checking that one out. So that came in this whole cook kit, and I just wanted to try something new. I also bought something I've never used. Is this here? This is a little coffee maker. It's a little coffee maker. Check that out. So basically, what you do, you just set this right on top of your cup. Comes with these coffee filters that you can pick up pretty much anywhere. Put that in there. Put your coffee in there, and it's a little pour over. You know what I'm talking about? It's a little pour over. So you need a separate cup. Obviously, you need 2 cups. It's got to be a 2-cupper. A 2-cupper. All right. So you're gonna bring 2 cups. But if you like your coffee, you're gonna bring 2 cups, right? So you're gonna do a little pour over coffee. So I'm excited to try that out because I'm a coffee guy. Am I a coffee guy?
A huge coffee guy.
I'm a huge coffee guy. It's actually. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it right now because that's a whole separate channel. That's a self-help channel. That's what that is right there.
Should we talk about it?
No, we should not.
How many cups is that today?
Don't worry about it, man. What's the name of your business anyway? Don't worry about it.
So we're going to try out the little coffee maker. I've only really used the instant coffee packets. And so everybody talks about different ways to make coffee in a lightweight way. So we're going to try that out. Oh, here's another piece of gear that I have not tried yet. Haven't even tried it. I wanted to try it this winter, but it just never worked out. My winter trip, my big winter trip that I was going to do got completely canceled. So, but this is, what do we got? Oh, this is the WINDPRO 2 by MSR. So really excited to try this out. So this is for winter conditions. So if you have a standard fuel canister like this, these below freezing don't work very well because it turns back into a liquid or a gas. I'm terrible at science, but they just don't work. You got to warm these up. This is meant to make sure that your gas canister stays upside down so the fuel comes out properly. That's going to sit in here like this, like that. And then you can control it, light it, you know, and you've got your dinner that's going to cook or your whatever. So meant for winter, meant for extreme conditions, cold weather. So I'm really excited to try this out next year, apparently, because we just hit spring. Thank God we just hit spring. I'm so glad we just hit spring. All right. All right. Now let's get to the Holy Grail. All right. This is the Holy Grail. Here we go. Holy Grail. I've got a couple of options for you as far as what I think are probably the best buy for the least amount of weight. So if you want a really lightweight stove system, and that's just awesome, I would recommend this for sure. There's a couple options, but this one for sure. This is the TOAKS Titanium 750 milliliter pot. This is perfect for me to fit my fuel can, and I can also fit a larger stove in there. So I got the Pocket Rocket in there. Pop the lid on, and you're good to go. Isn't that awesome? So everything fits in here. Now, its baby brother is what a lot of people use, which is this one here. This is the TOAKS 550 milliliter pot. And these are really inexpensive for titanium. There's probably some of the cheapest out there. You can fit this in here like this, but then you can't fit like a larger stove in there. If you are sold on this particular pot system, you can go out and you can buy this tiny little guy. This is a cheap, very cheap, like 15, maybe 20 bucks, and probably the lightest weight, smallest stove on Amazon out there. And this is literally, everybody thinks this is called the BRS stove. This is a no-name stove because I've tricked you. I've tricked you. Did you know I tricked you?
I guess not.
Yeah, well, you're gonna find out right now. This is the BRS stove. This is not the BRS stove, yet they are absolutely identical. This one is called the FOHAZ. See if you can get those names on there. Can you see those names? This is a FOHAZ stove, and this is the BRS stove. What I think is that this is just some standard you know, design of a stove, and a bunch of different companies are putting their name on it. Everybody seems to think that BRS is like the only company making this kind of stove. It's not. It's just the one that caught on to being popular. So you're going to find this cheap Chinese stove online, and it works. It's not my favorite. Honestly, it's not the most reliable. I have gone through one of these before that just leaked, and it was just garbage. It was not a fun stove to work with, and they're not very efficient either. They're okay, but I know I'm going to hear about that in the comments. So there are people that have used this on their entire through hike of like the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail or the Continental Divide Trail. So they will vouch for this stove, and that's great, but not my favorite. But if you want a stove that will fit in here, you can get this stove, and once you get it to fold up, what I like to do is throw that in there, throw that on top, and then you can kind of cram that lid on. And that'll fit into the baby brother pot. This is the 550 milliliter pot. So that's pretty cool. Super ultralight. Okay, all right. This is my favorite. This is my second favorite. This is like my all-time favorite. I have a lot of favorites. I got a lot of favorites. I really do. But these are all great cooking pots. All right, but if you want like super cheap, do you like cheap?
Absolutely.
Cheap. He likes cheap.
I just graduated college.
He just graduated college, so he likes inexpensive stuff. He's got to be able to afford the backpacking gear. You're going to look at this right here. This is the Stanley pot. You can find this on Amazon. I think I picked this up for under 10 bucks. Now, I don't think it's always under 10 bucks. It's usually maybe around 15 bucks. This is a stainless steel pot, a little bit heavier, but this thing is bulletproof, man. This thing, you could literally drop this off of a, you could climb Mount Everest, throw this off, and it would still survive. Have I tested that? You betcha. You betcha. All right. This will fit the smaller fuel cans. It's kind of nice. And it's got a, oh, look out. It's got a really nice lid on it. Solid as a rock. And then just like that, done. And then it comes with, I think, 2 of these, but I may or may not have lost one because I don't use these. The whole kit, a little heavy, a little bulky, but if you don't bring these cups, man, I mean, we're talking inexpensive, solid as a rock. If you're clumsy in the backcountry and you just drop stuff all the time, this might be for you. But I'm going to put the price of this up on the screen just so you can see how inexpensive, if you get the BRS cheap Chinese stove and this pot, I mean, we're talking maybe 30 bucks is what you spent, and you got a really, really quality cook set. And then real quick, let's talk utensils real fast. My favorite utensil, I can't find it. We looked for it, did we not? Mm-hmm. We looked for it. We could not find it. So I'm going to tell you what it is. As a matter of fact, I'll put it on the screen right now. This is it. This is my favorite spoon of all time. But this is a backup, just to kind of give you an example. If you are going to buy a backpacking spoon, I encourage you to buy a long-handled spoon. The big reason you want to have a long-handled spoon is because when you're getting down into those mountain house meals or those freeze-dried meal bags, you want a long spoon to be able to get to the bottom of it, and you're not going to get your hand all dirty, rather than having something, you know, smaller like this little guy. This was back when I was ultralighting. This is a GSI piece of garbage. It's like an inch long, but you're definitely going to get your hand all nasty dirty with this thing. But all right, there it is, the Holy Grail. Is that a grail? It's not really a grail. It's more of a, it's a pot. It's a steel pot.
The Holy Steel Pot.
The Holy Steel Pot. Here we go. These are it right there. This is what I would recommend if you're just looking to boil water. This is it right here. If you're looking to do anything else, just go out and buy a JETBOIL. Expensive, but if you want to like start your cooking adventures, you could do that. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys out just to kind of see my evolution in pots, not pot. Don't do drugs. And we'll see you guys on the next one.